and a supporter. I think I heard one of you say that sisterhood means to you support, a supporter, not a hater. How can we stop the sister hating and the sister slaying? Or that season of disappointment Judge Kennedy referenced. How can we do that, Madam Hazel Dukes?
I have to go back. This is not church. But if there is no God in your life, that you believe in something bigger than you cannot do this. It just won't happen. You can't do it by yourself. You have to be grounded. The hate, the disappointments, they are real. They are real in life. And when they come upon you, you have to do certain things as say, search me. Search me, Lord. Because you got to look at you to see what it is that you've done. I got people that walk around hating me for no reason at all, disliking me. And through the years, I've had people to come and confess to me that they thought I was this or they thought I was that. Let me tell you a quick story in my church. We had a church meeting, and I stood up and made a motion that if everybody, those who could tie, tied, those who couldn't, whatever they could do it regularly. If you wasn't there, I'm a trustee at my church. 3 people stood up in the meeting and said, who do you think you are? Because God has blessed you. You can't tell me what to do. Hurt, in tears, but you know what I did? I prayed about it. And the next Sunday, I went to the 3 sisters and asked them, could we meet? Amen. And I took them downstairs and I said to them, you know what? Since God has blessed me, this is what I'm going to do for you. You tell me what you can do each Sunday, and I'll match you. I'll match whatever you can do, because God has blessed me. But my blessing is not about me. It's about all of us. And I won those 3 sisters over in the church. This wasn't outside the church. This was inside, where sisterhood really should be happening. So don't think, sisters, that it's all outside. It's even in your family, as Terry said. There are sisters not speaking to each other because of jealousy, because of envy. But if you got God in you, you don't let that prevail. You find a way to meet them somewhere during a conversation. You can't carry baggages around. Envy, jealousy will kill you. It'll eat you up inside. It's a worse disease than cancer.
Judge Kennedy, do we rise above it, or do we do sister hating and slaying back? Judge Kennedy.
If I can, I'd like just to add on to what Terry said and then address what Sister Hazel said. You know, I have visited several detention facilities in the city for girls. Let me say, there's just so much pain with these girls. And when we talk about the haters, et cetera, it's because we're being bombarded with all of these negative images. Absolutely. You know, what sells? Negativity sells. Calling women out of their names. Now, I'll tell you, I love clothes, I love fashion. God is still working on me and with me on that. But the thing is, when I go to these facilities and I tell these young girls, you know, it's not about what you wear, it's about the character, your values. And because things have happened to them at home and in school, they don't have anyone to talk to. They act out. And so when they see us adults being hateful towards each other, they look at that. That's what we are teaching them. How do you resolve your differences? By calling someone out of their name. by being hateful. So we have to take a look at ourselves. And you know, and we are in the world, but we are not of the world.
Absolutely. Two examples come to mind, and I see you, Sister Terry. The young lady up in Newburgh, New York, who drove her 4 children, except the oldest son escaped, into a river because she heard that her man had been cheating on her, the father of the smaller 3 children. And then a talent show here in New York City. 3 young ladies were jealous of the young lady that had the best voice, and so they beat her up with a rock inside of a plastic bag. And who knows the damage that that young lady has sustained physically, mentally, and emotionally, and everything. Sister Williams, how do we stop the sister hating and the sister slaying?
As simple and as complicated as really understanding. I spoke to 50 kids a while back at an alternative high school, showed them some of these spots that we had created about mental health. And this young man gets up and he says that he stabbed, it was very courageous of him, he said he stabbed a young man 6 times. He didn't kill him, but what he said right after that was what pierced my spirit. He said, and he wasn't even the one I was mad at. So, but it's everybody in this room. We take some shit, excuse me.
We will beat that out.
We take some shit out on somebody else when there's really someone else who is at the root of having hurt us. And the other thing that I think that we have to do with our young people is we as adults always want to be perfect in front of them. We don't want to appear vulnerable. So we don't tell them the truth. So when that young person says, Mom, Dad, adult figure, are you sad? Are you angry? At the moment that we say no, we're teaching our kids how to be like that. We're teaching them how to lie. We're teaching them how to not deal with their emotions. We're teaching them to second guess their intuition because their intuition told them that something was wrong, but this most high person in my life just lied to me. And then we don't teach them what we do when we fall down. So it's like, who else is supposed to tell them that? What you do when you fall down. So we're just setting our kids up and they're smart as a whip. They miss nothing. They live with us, work with us, or go to school with us. They already know we're crazy. Do you know what I'm saying? They see everything. So we have to share with them what our struggles are. We don't have to tell them all the gory guts of it, but we have to tell them
our story.
Tell them our stories.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We do need to move on. Sister Vera Moore, did you want to say something?
Back to the same old thing. All this sounds wonderful, but it's the renewing of the mind. It's a battlefield of the mind, and only God can do that. Because you've got to have, he's got to be your core. You know, when I was little, I used to go to Sunday school and have a little party, and if I don't go to church, you get to go to church, Sunday school, church, YPHA, slept on the bench at night, because it's instilled in your heart, and you only go but so far from it. So we got to kind of get back to that old-time way, you know what I'm saying? Because something's wrong here. We've got to get back to Christ.
Absolutely.
Because we can't do it. We only have limited power. So we've got to go with the man with all the power, the ultimate power.
Absolutely.
And only he can do it. And then when you have that, then maybe you can segue them to going to a therapist, listening to us, because you can talk yourself through it. They might not even hear you because their minds have not been renewed, and only Christ can do that.
And I totally agree with that. I just think that when I was at my lowest, it was God who led me to the right psychiatrist.
Exactly.
That's right. Touche. And not only that, Edward Wimberly says, the village is disappearing. If you are a person of color, you had a village when you came up, wherever you came from. Be it in the Caribbean, in the South, you had a village. Someone on either side of you, they could chastise you, and then when your parents got home, they got the 411, and then they chastised you.
And go out there to swim.
And you came out better because you had a village. But the village has disappeared now. So what do we do? And I have just a question to respond to that. Panelists, within the profession you are in or have been in, Did any other sister show you the spirit of sisterhood? We heard Judge Kennedy talk about an example that maybe Sister Terry Williams may have even forgotten about until today. Briefly tell us, what was that experience like and how it changed your view of other women or sisters? And also, if you have not done so already, I've got to plug our Sisters Mentoring Sisters program. Would you consider mentoring other sisters?
I have a friend that we grew up together in Montgomery, Alabama, that we have been friends all of our life. All of our life. We disagree, we argue, but we love each other. It's never a week that we don't speak to each other. She's moved now from New York to Maryland to be with her family. We speak weekly. We keep in touch when we are hurt. We discuss it among ourselves from other people. I call her up and I said, you know, this is not right. And she just will tell me what's right. And then my other best girlfriend is Laura D. Blackburn. We have 45 years of friendship. She told the story last night when she was under siege. Her child, who looked exactly like her, had to come and stay with me. Our friendship goes back 45 years. We've never had a time. Laura went back to law school. I went back to get my master's. We never competed for each other. We encouraged each other. When she was going to law school and she had to test, I took her 3 girls. I took them on the weekend where she could study. When her husband was sick, I was there at the hospital. You go home and let me stay. That's what I'm talking about. Friendship where you don't agree. Friendship where you have your difference, but it's not anything that is envy and jealous and bitter that you throw away. Friendship like you throw away clothes. Friendship and sisterhood is people that you hold on for dear life. I heard someone this morning said she went someplace because the husband, the judge, said this morning when she went to see about her sister, her friend, whose mother died. They said, why are you going? Because she's got a husband. She said today she don't have that husband, but she still have her as a friend. So friendship and sisterhood is something dear to you if you take it in the right way. When people say she used to be my friend, I can't stand her anymore. I look at that person seriously. I don't want them around me too long, because if they did that to somebody who was their friend,
What are they going to do
and
to
their sister,
you?
what will they do to me?
I don't think we can respond any better than that. So we're going to move on